I'll be demonstrating how to use Sense Announcements, an application you can download on the Shopify App Store. Sense Announcements is an application that allows you to configure a bar for a section or for your header of your Shopify store, which you can configure the way you want that matches your brand. When you have the app installed, you can, under the Sense Announcement tab, create a new bar, which does like this. When creating a new bar, you'll land on the content page, which allows you to configure the text of your bar. On the top, you can add as many blocks as you'd like. A block allows you to configure its own text or any clicks that I'll be demonstrating in a second. For my website, for my Shopify, I would like to display to my clients that shipping is free over $100. I can do that by changing the bar text, like so. I can also have your custom configurations for that text, for example, in bold, and it will reflect here on the right-hand side in terms of how it will look on the website. You can also see how it looks for mobile. You can also add a button that stays along with the text, give it a custom link once they click the button. If it opens in a new tab or overrides the existing tab, that's up to your choice. Also, you can also configure a countdown. So let's say it's some kind of event that is going to start in, let's say, 2 days. You can configure here the date, what happens when it's done, and so on. And if you don't like what's written on other tabs, you can go back, change the block text. That's perfectly fine, and it's customizable. I'll be jumping to the display tab because I want to display a feature regarding this, which allows infinite scrolling of the bars. Notice that each text here is a different block that you configured on the content page. You can decide if the bar goes from left to right or goes from right to left. That's up to you. I'll be going back to the design. On the design, you can design how your bar looks like to better suit your brand. On the top, there's templates, and for each template, there's a theme. So let's say my free shipping over $100 is something that's only for Valentine's. So I can add here the Valentine theme, and it will reflect here on the display. If I scroll down, I can also change the color of the text. So let's say red doesn't look so good, and I'd rather have orange. You can see that displays and reflects that. But I think red is okay here. And going even more down, you can change stuff that aren't related to these. You can decide on a solid color, let's say blue. You can decide on a gradient. There's some options here. I'll choose this one. And a gradient, you can decide here what the colors would be for that gradient or what angle of the gradient. Here it's 90 degrees. And you can also decide here on an image, maybe something that's more specific for your brand. That's fine as well. On the display tab, you can decide here things that are regarded to your display. For example, if it's specific only for desktop users, only for mobile users, or both. You can decide here on a UTM type, or maybe even target a specific customer, or maybe even display this only for a cart that has a total of minimal or maximal amount. On the options tab, you can decide here on the name of the bar. I'm going to do here tutorial, because this is a tutorial. And there's the bar ID, which we'll be looking at later. You can decide if your bar is sticky, which means if your client scrolls down in his website, would the bar follow him? There's also configurations for the bar itself. For example, will it be displayed on weekdays, on what time on those weekdays? Or maybe even a period of time. For example, if there's a Black Friday sale, so I could activate this activity period and give it a specific date, let's say for that day of Black Friday. And that's fine as well. It all what matches your brand. When I'm done, I save the bar. Once you save the bar, you can go back to your dashboard to have a view at your bar. When successfully creating the bar, you'll see it under the dashboard in your bars here below. Make sure that it's activated, otherwise it won't show up on your shop. Now, in terms of placement of the bar, there's multiple suggestions. You can add it to your header, you can add it to a specific section. That's all right, whatever matches your brand. For my case, I'll want it to be in the header, so you can click here on Setup in Header, and Enable App will enter the editor of the shop. When in the editor, make sure on the left-hand side that Sense Announcement is enabled, otherwise you won't see your bar. But after it's enabled, as you see here, the bar has been successfully added to the header of the shop and will be displayed according to what you configured for your brand. Thank you for listening. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact us either by email or WhatsApp, and we'll be happy to help.